Hey, it's Monica B. I'm the creator of HeyMonicaB.com, a blooming resource on Ayurveda, and author of In Your Elements, a blooming Ayurvedic guide to creating your best life. Today, we are going to talk about the 5 great elements and macrocosm and microcosm, the big, great, giant nature surrounding us and the teeny tiny, itty bitty little energy of nature inside of us. So let's get started. Thank you for being here. I'm excited to have you. Okay. So in Ayurveda, we talk about the 5 great elements as those things are, take off your hat of everything that you know about healthcare and science. Just take that off. You could put that over there and you're going to put on a new hat, Ayurvedic hat. Okay? And in Ayurveda, it is said that everything that exists is made of 5 things. And those 5 things are space, air, fire, water, and earth. Right? You may have heard me say this, before, but I'm saying it again because we're going to talk about the principles. We're going to talk about why. I'll give you some examples. All the way out to the greatest, giantest universe, way out there where there's lots of space, there is lots of space. And there's air and there's movement that makes things go. There's fireballs that are happening. There's things exploding. There's earth balls, right? And there's water, there's some things freezing out there in outer space, right? So all the way out in outer space, only 5 things: space, air, fire, water, earth. Yes? Yes. Good. Let's come down closer to earth. And we're going to look around earth. And if you could see out over my fence, which I'm not going to do because I'm kind of klutzy and I might drop the phone, you can see mountains. Big earth, right? And underneath the mountains, so you can see water. You can see lots of water. And then what's all surrounding is this nice air that we breathe. And in the giant container is a big thing of space. Think about the earth like maybe a big terrarium. There needs space for things to grow, right? And then you've got the fire, which is shining behind that tree above my head, which is the big giant sun. Yes, and bonfires in summer are also fire. So right there on our earth, space, air, fire, water, earth. Now let's go into our bodies. It is said in Ayurveda that the same 5 elements exist in our bodies as in the earth and as greater universe. So when we talk about our bodies, we've got water in there, right? Slosh, slosh. We've got water in our blood. Yeah. We drink a lot of water. We got water in our saliva. We've got water lubrication around our eyes. Much of our body is earth, isn't it? We can jump and stand without turning into water and just splashing on the ground. So you've got sturdy earth qualities here. So you've got the earth and the water. And then you've got the fire, which is our digestion, our metabolism, the liver, the color of our blood is red. That is all part of the fire element, the element that transforms things. And then you've got some air. The air moves things. What do you think moves things through our veins and through our capillaries? Makes my hands do this. It's the air. Yes? And then we've got the space. And the space is maybe what lives in our ears. Creates a little hollowness, creates the bouncing of sound, right? So we can hear things. And again, space creates the container. Look, there's space in my mouth, so sound can come out. That is space. And also, if you take it down to our bones, which we might think is earthy and solid, that's true. There's part of earth in our bones, but there's also space and air, isn't it? Tiny little holes, spongy holes in our bones. So you can see these 5 elements way up there and down to earth and also in us. Okay? And that is macrocosm and microcosm. And because of that, we feel best when we're in nature. We spend money going to faraway places so that we can be in nature, so that we can spend time living in these elements because it is our home. We belong here. And check it out. Doo-doo-doo. Look at, I was brave. I picked up the camera. Look at this beautiful thing. There's a creek in the back. And when there's not a California drought, you can hear it. Hooray, we're out of the drought, right? Not enough water. Our bodies can get in a drought too. We can feel dehydrated. We need to fuel the element of water and drink more water so we don't feel so dry and crusty and brittle and breakable. Yes? And hot. If there's too much heat, there's not enough water, we're going to feel hot, irritable, hot-tempered. So those are some examples of where the elements show up. Now, I'm going to give you 2 takeaways for today. Going forward, I want you to be mindful of the foods and make sure you don't have to get real heady about the foods, because sometimes people can get a little overthinky about the foods. Don't overthink. But what I want you to do from now on going forward, I want you to say, does this food come from nature? Okay, because all the foods that we are offered that come from nature have the same 5 elements in them. Okay, you've got a watery citrus fruit that's got some heat in it. You've got a nice earthy avocado. You've got strawberries that have a little more air and space in them, right? So you've got all these different foods that have different elements. Don't think of it that level, because there's a difference between those and a Twinkie. The Twinkie does not have elements in them. I mean, they do, but they were made in a lab and they were made to be constructed in a certain way to turn the frickin' thing into a Twinkie. But the Twinkie is not our home. And we're not going to feel as good with that kind of food, with very processed foods, as we do when the foods come from nature. Yes, even the meats, right? If the animals are treated properly, if they are eating proper nutrition, those too are getting the proper elements that we then take in that build us in a positive way or a negative way, depending on where that came from, okay? So purity of foods is important. Grab foods that are closest to nature. If you're unsure, look at the ingredients labels. If you can't pronounce stuff that's on the ingredients labels, back on the shelf, what can you substitute that with? Something that is in the produce section or something that is more alive, right? And in choosing these alive foods, foods that have the elements in them, there is prana there. And prana is the life force, right? Life energy, vital energy. We want to take that in. And when we eat foods from nature, this beautiful, great, giant nature that is our home, we take in the prana and we feel more alive. Yes? Yes. Okay, good. The next takeaway is, do you see where I'm sitting? I'm sitting in nature. Get outside every single day. Sitting inside a concrete structure under fluorescent lights, staring at a computer all day is going to make all of us bonkers, because that's not our home. That's not our place, right? We need the balance of being able to get outside. And like I said earlier, you know, we spend a lot of money going on vacations and things to experience nature and to be outside, just lay on the beach or float on the lake or look at the mountains. You don't need any entertainment. You can just be there and it feels amazing. But guess what? We have nature all around us every single day. And so that, my friend, is a takeaway for you. Start spending more time outside. Even if it's like cold winter, there's something to be said for making a snowman or cross-country skiing or sledding or whatever. But spending a little time in that nature brings us right back to balance, right? It is so good for our minds and it is so good for our bodies to feel that connection and to feel that vibrancy with nature. So with that said, you are going to start practicing these 2 things. Be mindful of your food. Make sure that it comes from nature. Just put your mind into it. Awareness is everything. And you're going to start spending more time outside. If you have the ability, go outside right now. Put on those sneakers. Take a 10-minute walk. Get some prana in you. Get some nature. Go be surrounded by some lovely things outside, because it is our home. And we are all built of the 5 great elements. So in the meantime, till next time, we're going to keep bringing this Ayurveda to life. Mwah.